Guys, welcome to my second show, my review from this previous weekend. So it's obviously review of week 1 of Super Rugby. There were 2 games that played on the weekend. It was the Stormers versus the Jaguares and the Lions versus the Sharks. I found the Lions Sharks game a lot more entertaining than the Stormers Jaguares game, but I'll start with that game first, and then I'll move on to my game of the weekend. So obviously the score was 28-20. I predicted it would be quite a close game. I think in the first half, I thought the Stormers played really well, and I think they took the foot off the gas, and then they allowed the Jaguares to come back into it. But both sides, terrible discipline, especially the Jaguares, and it's very, very frustrating because it's one of the few things that you can fix quite easily in a game. Sorry, I'm actually wearing my Pink Bulls jersey for Mr. Grantastico, my brother-in-law in New Zealand. He actually was my first subscriber and commented on it, so he bought me this jersey as a joke, but I wear it with pride. So coming back to the Stormers game, I also think I looked at it and I thought I couldn't understand why Creevy wasn't captain. It just doesn't make sense why you would not have Creevy as captain. Even the ref wanted to go speak to Creevy, and even Creevy went to go speak to the ref when there was an issue. He's going to be the captain for the Rugby World Cup 2019. So why wouldn't he not be captain now? It doesn't make sense. I thought the penalty try was well deserved. The Stormers, it was atrocious the way they were playing, and then eventually the Jaguares got the penalty try. Sia Khaleesi is still the man. I think he's really cemented himself as one of the best flankers in the country, and I think he's going to be selected for the Springboks going forward. I think he's inspirational. He knows how to break the line. He plays very, very direct, and he's just got a way of playing rugby that's incredible. I think he's probably the closest we have to a New Zealand flanker in this country. The Jaguares, the discipline, it's frustrating, seriously frustrating. But on a positive, Lavanini wasn't sent off, and that's probably the first game ever, that he hasn't been sent off. I think he only had 1 penalty, which is he could have had none. But I know that he actually passed and he played a decent game. But going forward, I think the Stormers are missing their locks, even though I can't remember the guy's name who took over, but he played a really good game. But I think having Peter Steff and Eben Etzebeth they're world class, and obviously of top locks in the world, Eben Etzebeth is one of them. So, but yeah, now we move on to my second game of the week, the Lions Sharks. I think, jeepers, what an amazing Lions scrumming. It was seriously impressive to watch, especially against generally the Sharks have always had a good scrum, but the Lions dominated. I did notice though that the last year I used to get frustrated with Ruben Dreyer. He always overextends, especially against real world class props. And in the first half he wasn't going up against a world-class prop, and he's so good, he's got such good technique against them. And then you get a prop that'll come on, a beast came on, and he just knows how, and he just cannot take that step up to play up against a real world-class. I look at Billy Vunipola. If he comes up against him, he's going to be annihilated. So and I still think he's brilliant, and I just think he needs some technical training, from a real prop coach. I don't know if there's such a thing, but I normally just have a forward coach, but like a real somebody can really get his technique down packed. But I try to compare him to Vulcalo at the Stormers, and Vulcalo is rock solid prop. But is he a Vincent Koch? I've been watching quite a lot of Saracens playing, and Vincent Koch I see him, he'll battle for a game, and then the next game he's sorted out his technique, he's always going forward, he's very, very mobile. And I think, you can imagine a front row where you've got Stephen Kitsoff, Malcolm Marx, and Vincent Koch. That's world class. So I think we're okay on the loose head side, but on the tight head, I think we're still it's a bit iffy. And I also think I look at Malcolm Marx and I think he's phenomenal. Probably one best hooker in a long time in South Africa since Bismarck. And but who's there to back him up? You know, who's the next hooker in line? Who's the one that if Marx needs to be rested, because he's going to have to be rested. He can't play the whole season. You know, who's next? It's so great to see Warren Whiteley back. I've actually missed the way that he plays, and you know, and he even ran on the field and he smiles. You know, you look at somebody like Kieran Reid who runs on every single game, and he's got a smile on his face because he's just there to enjoy the rugby, and that was missed last year, especially at Springboks. But I think he's going to do well. I hope he doesn't get injured. Same as Marx. I think Mostert had a really good game. I really liked Mostert last year, and he tapered off near the end of the year. But I've written down some names here, but I think Makazola and Pimpi is going to be a serious find for Licky. He was brilliant for the Kings, he's excellent for the Cheetahs, and now he's with the Sharks, and I think he's a world-class finisher, and he fits a kind of mould. We have Raymond Rule, very, very fast. You got Makazola and Pimpi's very, very fast too, but I think he's a bit more rounded. But yeah, I think going forward the Sharks will improve. I think the Lions will improve. I hadn't realised that it was their first. They'd only won pre-match game pre-match the season, so I think they were fairly rusty. But it's the same as when you watch New Zealand. Even though they're 20 points behind, you still have a feeling that they were going to win. You still have a feeling that New Zealand were going to win and they're going to pull it out of the bag. You're not afraid, and it's the same with the Lions. I think there are a few key positions that they need to sort out, but I think they're going to do well. And I think having a season where they've actually got to work for it might be a bit better for them, to obviously give them that temperament for the playoffs. I hope they make the playoffs, and I hope they win it. But yeah, I'm going to go on to next week's games. So I've got a list over here on my screen, and I'll talk completely unbiasedly about them. Sorry, my mouth was a bit dry there. So the first game of the weekend, we've got the Highlanders versus the Blues. Seriously, I hope the Blues actually come to the party. They should be the best New Zealand side, and they just can't seem to get it right. They've got the greatest pool of players. They've got the largest amount of schools. So why can't they do it? You know, they ended off last season and lost to the Sunwolves. So I hope they have a turnaround. Obviously, going against the Highlanders, my brother-in-law, they live in that area of New Zealand, and so yeah, obviously we have a special place in our heart for the Highlanders. But I don't know, it might be a tight affair. And I seriously hope the Blues actually sort themselves out. Next game of the weekend, I should give scores, but you know, I'm 2 for 2 so far, so I think I'll just stick with my 100% prediction on scores. But Highlanders Blues, I think the Blues will take it. Then we've got the next game with the Rebels, the Reds. I'll be honest, I don't really watch a lot of the Australian teams. I'd like to a bit more, especially now that there's fewer of them. I think the Reds should take it. The Rebels, I don't know. Yes, I know they got a lot of players from the Western Force, but I still think the Reds will take it. Then the next game we've got the Sunwolves against the Brumbies. I think the Brumbies are going to walk all over the Sunwolves. Which is the Brumbies are the best Australian side, and the Sunwolves have been the wooden spoon for Super Rugby competition for the last 2 years, and they just have not performed, and which is strange because it's a growing sport in Japan, and it would be nice that they actually play better than where they actually ranked. Next game is the game of the weekend, Crusaders versus the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a humdinger. Yeah, I think it's going to be the game. I'll watch that one. I have a feeling the Crusaders will take it, just because I like the Crusaders. So, but yeah, that's the game I'm looking forward to the most, because I think it'll be very, very entertaining, and it'll be nice to see where the New Zealand sides are. I think they're going to dominate again as per normal, and I want them to. I don't want to win games against New Zealand sides where they're playing badly, or I want them to be at their peak and we win. And I think the New Zealand fans want the same thing. They want good games, and so yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Next game is the Waratahs versus the Stormers. Stormers don't travel well. It's been historically they've never travelled well. They generally lose most of their games when they're travelling. So money will be on the Waratahs. But yeah, I'm going to be a South African and say it's the Stormers are going to take that one. The Lions versus the Jaguares. They're playing at altitude. The Jaguares playing the Lions. I think the discipline is going to knock the Jaguares as per normal, and I think Yankees is going to punish them. Some people that I've watched on other videos have predicted 30 point difference. I hope not. It was actually quite frustrating when there were 18 teams and we had these huge big point differentials. So look, let's just say two converted tries, but the Lions will take that comfortably, and I hope they actually play some of the other players to blood them. Then my next game for the weekend is the Bulls versus the Hurricanes, and obviously I'm completely unbiased, so I've got to say that the Bulls will take that quite comfortably. But I may be living in a delusional world, but that's okay. I think they will win, not by much, a converted try. I think they're on the up and up. I don't think they're going to make the finals or anything, but I think they'll make the playoffs. And then I know that the Bulls are on track. I've always been a believer that when South African rugby is strong, the Bulls have been traditionally strong, and it's just the way it is. And the South Africa needs a strong Bulls side to be competitive in the world. But yeah, that's my games for the weekend. Obviously I do fantasy. I have a fantasy team at Rugby Pass, and I'm 56th out of 178 other players. So that's not too bad. I think last year I was in the bottom quarter, and this first thing I'm in the top third. So that's looking quite nice. But yeah, it's just good laugh to go play some fantasy rugby. I've got players from the Lions and the Sharks, and I've got quite a few from New Zealand. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this coming weekend. There's also a lot of other rugby. There's Six Nations. Sorry, that's also on. But it's quite strange. I was really into the Six Nations, and now Super Rugby started. Now I'm into the Super Rugby again. So it's quite strange. Then obviously there's Pro 14, but I'm frustrated. I'm very frustrated with the Cheetahs and the Kings. Especially the Kings. It's diabolical that they haven't won a game. Cheetahs play well, but they play well at home, and then when they travel, they just don't play well at all. But I must admit, if you can, try watch Saracens playing, not Saracens, Scarlets playing in the Pro 14. It's absolutely phenomenal rugby. So loose. I watched a game a few weeks ago. It's just so loose, and it was just so unstructured, and it was amazing, and passing from the base and offloading, and it looked like a New Zealand side, but even better, and it was incredible to watch this Welsh side really playing well. But yeah, that's my show for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. I've got 6 followers. They happen to all be mostly family. I think my wife, my brother-in-law, my father-in-law, I think my mother. So everyone's at least following. I think I've got 2 people that aren't family. So it's a start. If you like the show, then please subscribe and just join me once a week to watch some unbiased rugby predictions. Thanks a lot, guys. Cheers.